Welcome to CogniTale, unlocking ancient stories where the past whispers secrets too wild to ignore. Tonight we're diving into a tale from America's untamed heart, a mystery born in the pine forests of Wisconsin, a place most folks have never heard of, yet it hides a legend that'll grip your soul. Picture this, late 19th century, a tiny logging town called Rhinelander, where a creature called the Hodag, horns sharp, eyes blazing red, turned whispers into a wildfire of wonder. Was it real or a trick played on the world? That's our hook, folks. A story so strange it'll stick with you long after the lights go out. So settle in, and let's unravel this forgotten gem together. It's 1893, and Rhinelander's a speck on the map, carved out of endless forests where the air smells of pine sap, and the hum of sawmills fills the day. This is a land of lumberjacks, tough men with calloused hands, who swing axes by dawn and swap tales by firelight when the sun dips low. The town's alive with the clatter of wagons, the creak of wooden porches, smoke curling from chimneys into a sky streaked with orange. Into this rough world steps Eugene Shepherd, a surveyor with a sly grin, a man known for spinning yarns as big as the trees he measures. One crisp fall evening, he stumbles back from the woods, his coat torn, his eyes wide, claiming he's seen something no one can explain. He calls it the Hodag, a beast 7 feet long, its black scales glinting like coal, horns jutting from its skull, spines bristling down its back, and eyes that burn red, like embers in the dark. The saloon erupts in laughter, men slapping tables, calling him a fool or a drunk, but Shepherd doesn't flinch. He leans in, voice low, swearing he'll prove it. Word spreads fast from barstools to barnyards, folks whispering about this monster in their midst, some scoffing, others clutching their rifles a little tighter. Rhinelander's no stranger to tall tales. Bears and wolves haunt these woods. But this? This feels different, heavier, like a shadow creeping closer each night. Shepherd's story isn't just talk, it's a spark, igniting curiosity, fear, and something else. A hunger to know what's out there, lurking beyond the tree line. By week's end, the town's buzzing, kids peering into the forest, men boasting they'll hunt it down, and Shepherd, he's already planning his next move, a hunt that'll turn a whisper into a roar. This isn't your average campfire yarn. It's a collision of history and mystery, a tale rooted in a real place, a real time, yet twisted with the unknown. The Hodag's not just a beast, it's a question mark etched into the wilds of Wisconsin, and we're only scratching the surface, folks. What Shepherd saw, or claimed to see, is about to pull us deeper into a story that's equal parts truth, trickery, and terror. So stick with me, because the forest is waking up, and it's got secrets to spill. Now buckle up, folks, because this is where the Hodag legend grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go. A tale so wild it'll have you scrolling X and Reddit late into the night. We're still in Rhinelander, 1896, 3 years after Shepherd's first sighting, and the town's a powder keg, buzzing with doubters, dreamers, and a growing unease that something's watching from the woods. Eugene Shepherd's had enough of the laughter, the jeers. He's a man on a mission, and he's about to drag us into the heart of the forest, where history meets the unknown, and trust me, you won't look at pine trees the same way again. This isn't just a hunt, it's a descent into a mystery that'll echo across America, so let's dive in, because the Hodag's waiting. Picture Rhinelander in late October, the air crisp, leaves falling like gold coins, the forest glowing with a fiery hue under a sky turning gray. The town's alive, lumberjacks hauling logs, wagons rattling down muddy streets, smoke rising from chimneys in thick, lazy curls. Shepherd's been plotting, gathering a crew, tough men with scarred hands and steely eyes, men who've faced bears and blizzards, but nothing like this. He's got 6 of them, armed with rifles, ropes, and a crate of dynamite, their faces grim, their breaths fogging in the chill. They meet at dawn by the old sawmill, the hum of blades cutting through the quiet. And Shepherd lays it out, voice steady. He's tracked the Hodag to a cave deep in the woods, a black hole swallowed by pines, and he's not coming back empty-handed. The group heads out, boots crunching over frost, the forest closing in, tall pines stretching up like sentinels, their branches creaking in the wind. The deeper they go, the quieter it gets. No birds, no squirrels, just the rustle of leaves and a strange heaviness in the air, like the world's holding its breath. Shepherd leads, his map crumpled, his eyes darting, pointing out broken twigs, claw marks on bark, signs he swears are fresh. The men grumble, half believing, half ready to turn back. But then they hear it, a low growl rumbling through the trees, deep, primal, not bear, not wolf, something else. Their hands tighten on their guns, hearts pounding, and Shepherd grins, whispering, "It's here, boys, it's here," as they push toward the cave, a jagged maw in the earth, dark as midnight. They light torches, flames flickering weak against the gloom, and creep inside, the air thick with damp, the smell of rot stinging their noses. The cave's narrow, walls slick, shadows dancing as they move deeper, the growl growing louder, echoing off stone. Suddenly it bursts out, the Hodag, a nightmare in flesh, 7 feet of black scales glinting, horns curved like a bull's, spines bristling, eyes red and blazing, locking onto them. It charges, claws slashing, a roar shaking the cave, and the men scatter, yelling, firing wild shots that ricochet off rock. Shepherd shouts, "The dynamite now!" And they hurl it, fuses hissing, the blast rocking the earth, dust and smoke choking the air as the beast staggers, then falls, a heap of scales, and fury silenced at last. They drag it out, ropes straining, the thing heavier than a bear, its stench like sulfur, and death, a trophy no one can deny. Back in Rhinelander, the town explodes, folks crowding the streets, gaping at the cage Shepherd builds, iron bars barely holding the shadowy bulk inside. Newspapers scream headlines, "Wisconsin monster slain," sketches of the Hodag spreading coast to coast, a sensation born in the wilds. But here's where it twists. When scientists demand a closer look, Shepherd hesitates, lets them peek through bars, not touch, and whispers start, "Is it real, or a trick stitched together in some back room?" The men from the hunt swear it moved, breathed, fought, but doubt creeps in, a crack in the tale that's about to split wide open. By 1899, the truth spills out. Shepherd admits it, grinning like a fox. The Hodag's a hoax, a masterpiece of wood, wire, and hide, crafted to draw crowds and cash to Rhinelander. He'd rigged it with pulleys, hired a kid to growl through a hollow log, staged the hunt like a play, and the dynamite? Just smoke and noise. The town ate it up, turned it into a circus, a legend born from a lie. Folks are mad, some laugh, others shrug, but then the real kicker lands. Loggers who never met Shepherd start talking, men who've worked these woods for decades, saying they've seen it too, long before his stunt. Red eyes in the mist, claw marks on trees, a growl that freezes your blood, and suddenly the hoax doesn't feel so simple anymore. These aren't city slickers chasing fame, they're hard men, quiet men who don't lie for sport, and their stories pile up. Old Tom Grady, a cutter since the 1870s, swears he saw the Hodag in '88, standing by a creek, silent, staring, then gone like smoke. A trapper finds tracks, too big for anything known, pressed deep into frozen mud, no frost in the prints, like they're warm. A widow claims her husband heard it before he vanished, a roar in the night, his axe left buried in a stump, blade bent and cold. The forest's alive with whispers now, tales older than Shepherd's game, and folks start wondering, Did he invent the Hodag, or did he stumble onto something real, something that had been waiting in the shadows all along? The town leans into it. Tourists flood in, snapping photos with wooden Hodags, buying trinkets, laughing at the monster that put Rhinelander on the map. But at night, when the crowds clear, the loggers don't laugh. They sit by their fires, eyes on the trees, listening, because the forest doesn't care about hoaxes. It keeps its own secrets. One winter, a storm tears through, wind howling like a beast, and a crew finds a pine snapped clean in half, claw marks gouged 10 feet up, fresh, raw. No man could have done it, no bear neither, and the air stinks of sulfur, sharp and wrong. The Hodag's a joke to some, a paycheck to others, but to those who felt it, it's a weight, a question that gnaws. What's out there, really out there? This isn't just Shepherd's story anymore. It's bigger, older, tied to the land itself, a thread running back before the sawmills, before the settlers, into the bones of Wisconsin's wild heart. The natives here, the Ojibwe, had tales of their own, spirits in the woods, things with horns and hunger, things you don't name unless you're ready to call them. Shepherd might have played a trick, but what if he woke something up, gave it a name, a shape, a reason to step out of the dark? The hunt's over, the hoax is exposed, but the haunting's just beginning, folks. And it's pulling us deeper, into nights where the pines don't sleep, and the Hodag's growl isn't a memory, it's a promise. Hold on tight, folks, because the Hodag legend's about to hit its peak, and it's a wild ride that'll chill your bones and set your pulse racing. We're past Shepherd's hoax now, the laughter's faded, and Rhinelander's forest is waking up with something far darker than a wooden puppet, something that doesn't care for tricks or headlines. This is where history cracks open, spilling secrets too strange to bury, and trust me, you'll be gripping your seat, wondering what's real, what's out there, because the Hodag's not just a story anymore, it's a force, and it's coming for us all. It's winter 1899, snow blankets Rhinelander, the pines grown under ice, their branches snapping in the wind like brittle bones breaking apart. The town's still reeling from Shepherd's confession. Some folks call him a genius, others a liar. But the loggers, the ones who know the woods, they're not talking about him anymore. They're huddled in their cabins, doors bolted, fires roaring, because the forest's gone wrong, quiet in a way that screams danger. No owls hooting, no wolves howling, just a stillness that presses down heavy and cold. Old Tom Grady, a grizzled cutter with 40 years in these trees, sits by his stove, pipe trembling in his hand, telling anyone who'll listen he saw it again. The Hodag, bigger, realer, no wires or wood, its red eyes cutting through the blizzard like twin flames. He says it was late, moon hidden, snow swirling thick when he heard it, a growl low and guttural rumbling up from the earth, shaking the frost off the pines. He froze, axe in hand, peering into the whiteout, and there it was, 10 feet off, black scales glistening wet, horns curved sharp, spines bristling like a porcupine's quills, staring him down. It didn't move, didn't charge, just stood there, breath steaming in the air, a cloud of sulfur stink rolling over him. And Tom swears it spoke, not words, but a sound in his head, deep, ancient, saying, "You don't belong here," before it melted back into the storm, leaving tracks that burned through the snow, gone by dawn. Word spreads, fast and ugly, loggers trading tales over whiskey, each one topping the last. A trapper finds a deer torn apart, guts steaming in the cold, claw marks too wide for any bear. A widow hears scratching at her door, sees red eyes through the frost on her window, gone when she grabs her husband's old rifle. The town's on edge, kids kept inside, men patrolling with lanterns. But it's not enough, because the forest's shifting, growing thicker, darker, like it's alive and angry. One night, a storm hits, wind screaming through the trees, snow piling high, and a crew of cutters heads out, chasing a rumor, fresh tracks near Black Creek. They're armed, ready, but they don't come back whole. By morning, only one staggers into town, Jake Harrow, wild-eyed, frostbite blackening his fingers, babbling about the Hodag, not one, but dozens. Shadows spilling from the trees, eyes red, horns gleaming, moving fast, too fast. He says they ambushed the crew, no sound, no warning, just a rush of black scales and claws tearing through coats and flesh. He ran, heard screams behind him, saw his brother yanked into the dark, red eyes everywhere, like the forest itself was watching, hunting. The town searches, finds nothing, no bodies, no blood, just tracks circling the creek, deep, warm, leading nowhere, and Jake's left shaking, muttering, "It's not Shepherd's, it's older, it's theirs," pointing at the pines like they're alive. Panic grips Rhinelander, folks whispering about the Ojibwe tales, spirits of the woods, things with horns and hunger, things that take what's not offered, and now they're awake, stirred by Shepherd's game, or maybe by the axes cutting deeper each year. A preacher calls it the devil, holds a sermon, voice trembling, but the loggers don't buy it. They've seen evil. This is worse. It's primal, tied to the land, a fury that doesn't forgive. One night, the saloon empties early, wind howling outside, and a boy, too young to know better, sneaks to the window, gasps, points, "It's there!" And half the room sees it, a shape in the storm, tall, horned, eyes blazing, gone in a blink, but the glass is warm, scratched, like it pressed close. The climax hits a week later, Christmas Eve, snow falling soft, the town quiet, until a roar splits the night, louder than thunder, shaking windows, waking every soul. Folks stumble outside, lanterns swinging, and see it. Not one Hodag, but a pack, silhouettes against the tree line, red eyes glowing, dozens, maybe hundreds moving as one, a wave of scales and spines crashing through the pines. They don't attack, not yet. They circle, growling, a sound that digs into your skull, and the air reeks, sulfur, rot, fear, thick enough to choke on. A logger fires his rifle, the shot echoes, and they scatter, melting into the dark. But the message is clear. This isn't over. It's a claim, a warning. The forest isn't theirs anymore. It's the Hodag's, and it's been here longer than anyone knew. Here we are, folks, the Hodag legend's final stand, and it's a showdown that'll leave you staring at the dark, wondering what's watching back. Christmas Eve, 1899, fades into Christmas morning. Rhinelander's snow glows soft under a gray dawn, but the town's not celebrating. It's trembling, the roar from last night still echoing in their ears. The Hodags didn't just circle and vanish, they left a mark, a scar on the land, and the people, one that history can't erase. And trust me, this ending's wilder than any tale you've heard because the forest isn't done, it's just getting started. Dawn breaks weak, light creeping over pines bent low, their branches heavy with ice, air thick with sulfur, and silence, a silence that bites. Folks gather, lanterns dim, staring at the tree line where the Hodag stood, and they see it, a circle of tracks, deep, claw-scored, ringing the town like a noose, still warm, steaming in the cold. Inside the circle, a logger's cabin sits wrecked, walls clawed, roof caved, no blood, no body, just gone, like the forest swallowed it whole. Jake Harrow, the lone survivor from Black Creek, whispers, "They're marking us, claiming us," his voice cracking, eyes hollow, and the preacher drops his Bible, muttering, "God's left this place," as the wind picks up, carrying a growl, faint but close. The loggers don't wait. They grab axes, rifles, anything, and march out, a ragged line against the trees, determined to fight to take back what's theirs. They reach the tracks, snow crunching under boots, breath fogging fast, and then it hits, a sound like the earth splitting, a roar rolling from the woods, shaking the ground, knocking men back. The Hodags come, not dozens, but a swarm, black scales flashing, red eyes blazing, horns slashing air, moving like a tide, unstoppable, alive with fury. Shots ring out, bullets vanish into the mass, axes swing, hit nothing but wind, and the beasts close in, claws raking, spines piercing. But they don't kill, they take, dragging men into the dark, screams fading fast, swallowed by the pines. Half the crew's gone in minutes, the rest stumble back, bleeding, broken, faces white with terror, saying the Hodags didn't eat them, didn't tear them apart, they pulled them away, into the forest, like they're collecting, hoarding souls for something bigger. The town locks down, doors barred, windows shuttered, kids crying, men praying, but the growls don't stop, circling closer each night, a siege no one can win. By New Year's, Rhinelander's a ghost town, families fleeing south, loggers abandoning camps, leaving saws rusting in the snow, and the Hodag's tracks everywhere, a map of ownership etched into the earth, a claim that says, "This is ours, always was." Years pass, the story twists, Shepherd's hoax becomes a footnote, the real Hodag takes root, a legend born not from wood but from fear, from loss, from a forest that fought back. The Ojibwe nod, silent, their old tales of horned spirits ringing true, a warning ignored by settlers who cut too deep, woke too much. Rhinelander rebuilds, slowly, but the woods stay wild, untouched, a line no one crosses, because the Hodag's still there, red eyes glinting in the dark, a king of shadows ruling what man couldn't tame, and every winter, when the snow falls thick, the growls return, a reminder, a promise eternal. So, that's it, folks. The Hodag legend. A tale that starts with a trick and ends with a truth too big to bury. A story you'll share, debate, dream about. Because it's not over. It's out there, waiting. Hit that subscribe button on CogniTale, unlocking ancient stories. If this gripped you, we've got more hidden gems coming. Wilder, weirder, guaranteed to keep you up. Drop a comment. What do you think, hoax or horror? Like it if it hooked you, or don't, we can take it. Share it with your crew, your cousin, anyone who loves a good scare, and stick around, laugh with us, shiver with us. The next video is going to be a riot, trust me.